So I made a Bravely Default inspired card game. And before we get started, no, it's not Bind and Divide. B&D is fun and all, but it's not really a card game in the most common sense. You could replace the deck of cards with a jar of Tetris pieces and you'd probably get the same result. No, this game that I've developed is an actual combat-oriented card game that is more like the actual Bravely games. And when I mentioned it in a community post, you guys certainly seemed interested in it. So today, I'm going to unveil the game, explain how to play, and get your opinions on it. This is Brave Contest Strategic Default. I had to come up with some kind of fan name so Square doesn't nuke me on the spot. And just to be clear, this is just a fan project. I'm not going to be selling these cards or anything. They will be totally free to download in the description. And this is also just the initial release, so consider it a beta of sorts, meaning things will probably change. I'll do update videos and stuff later on. But if you do want to show some support for the game, why not like this video and subscribe to the channel? Now your first question might be, Red, why did you do this? Bored. So your next question is probably, how does it work? Well, I'm glad you asked. Brave Contest has you, the player, act as the main body of involvement. There are no creatures, no characters from the games. You become the asterisk holder. Now the rules I'm about to go over are like the 1.0 rule set, so again, expect things to change with time. To play, you have to make a deck. Each job has a set of 20 cards that go into the deck, and you can either use a deck with 2 sets of the same job, or you can use 1 set of cards from 2 jobs each. So you either take 2 sets of monk cards, or a set of monk and white mage, or monk and knight, and so on. This will give you a deck of 40 cards. You will also want some tokens to signify MP and BP and a way of tracking HP. When you have put your deck together, you must then choose which job is your main job. If you're playing only one job, then you already have your answer. The main job determines 2 things, your power and your specialty. You only get the power and specialty of your main job. They are never combined with your sub-job. Choose wisely because you can't swap your main job midway through a game. Then, you find someone to play against and get to battling. At the start of a game, both players draw 5 cards from the top of their decks and then decide on who goes first. Max hand size is 8, by the way. The objective, like most card games, is to reduce your enemy's HP to 0. To do that, you play cards. Normally, you are only allowed to play 1 card on your turn. When your turn ends, it passes to your enemy, and then they get to act. At the start of your turn, you draw 1 card from your deck, and regain 1 MP if you spent any the previous turn. You don't have to play a card every turn though. You may choose to default for the turn, which means not playing anything and taking half damage, rounded up to a minimum of 1 damage, until the start of your next turn. You also gain another 1 MP when you default. On top of gaining more MP and taking half damage, defaulting for a turn also gains you 1 BP. BP can be used later to Brave and play multiple cards on a turn, with a 1 BP cost per extra action. You can store up to and use 3 BP at a time, and you cannot Brave if you have no BP. You can keep track of your BP with the BP tokens provided. When you play multiple cards on a turn, flip over your BP tokens for every extra card you are playing this turn. So if you play 2 cards on a turn, only flip 1 BP token face down. There are a few different kinds of cards that can be played. Let's go over each of them. First is the basic attack card. This is pretty straightforward. You play it, you deal your current power as damage to the enemy. This is the most common card across all decks, like lands in a Magic the Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck. Basic attack cards like these can also be discarded directly from your hand to give yourself 1 BP. Some jobs have special attack cards as well, but although they cannot be sacrificed for BP, they have extra effects on them, which leads us into the next category. Abilities. These are specific to each job, and are generally attached to non-magic commands. Most abilities cost MP to play them, located in the bottom left corner of a card. Each job has a total pool of 5 MP. When you play a card with an MP cost, remove that amount of MP from your current total. So if a Black Mage casts Thunder, they remove 2 MP from their pool of 5, leaving them with 3. You can keep track of this mentally on paper or by flipping over the provided MP tokens. At the start of your turn, you regain 1 MP. Magic is very similar to abilities naturally, but it is treated explicitly as magic. These cards are generally pretty strong, but tend to cost more MP. Boosts do not count as magic or abilities, but still provide support, like shields, which act as extra health on top of your current HP. Finally, there are SP cards. Just like how you can use Bravely Second at any time in the games, these cards can be played at any time, even during your enemy's turn. Especially during your enemy's turn, in fact. These cards act as counters or reactions to your opponent's actions most of the time. However, SP is scarce, so you can only have one SP at any given time, which is restored at the start of your turn. So let's say it's Monk versus White Mage and it's currently Monk's turn. They brave once, then plan to play Invigorate into Pressure Point. The White Mage responds by playing Dispel, removing the buff from Invigorate and making the resulting pressure point do less damage. Once a card is played and the turn ends, it goes to the discard pile. Some cards will also apply status effects. These are indicated by square brackets, and a player can only be affected by one status effect at a time. If you would apply a new status effect to a target, the previous one is removed. Their duration, unless stated, is infinite until removed. So those are the basic rules, but this doesn't just have to be a 1v1 game. The cards and rules have been specifically designed to allow for multiplayer, 3, 4, 5-person and beyond free-for-alls, team versus team, or even try an asterisk battle by going 1v4 and giving the boss more HP, double damage, and a 60-card single job deck. All of these are possible methods of play, so experiment and try them all out. But wait, don't have friends in real life who like Bravely? Or just don't have friends in real life? Well, let's find someone in my Discord or anywhere else online and play it with Tabletop Simulator. I have uploaded the decks into a game in Tabletop Sim, so you can play it there if you wish as well. Again, links to downloads in the description. And that's basically everything there is to know about Brave Contest. There are 10 jobs available in the current base release, but I'll keep you guys updated when more come out and whenever there are adjustments to be made. I've already got 3 basically done for the future. There's not really any card art, because that's a whole lot of work in and of itself, and I mean, have you seen my videos? Anyways, I left them blank for the most part, so feel free to make your own designs. And please have patience for updates. This is just a hobby, so I won't be taking it super serious, but I'll do my best. Everything you need will be linked in the description of the video. And feel free to offer your thoughts. I would love to hear your feedback on this little project of mine. It would make me very happy to hear people's stories of trying the game out, even if it turns out to be an absolute dumpster fire. I kind of left it out of the video because it wasn't that important, but if you guys are interested in the development of the game and how it came to be, why certain things are the way they are, I could talk about that in a separate video, so let me know if you want to see that. Otherwise, if you're interested in trying it out, check the description of this video for links and stuff. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.